Yello, and welcome to episode 25 of my Endwalker playthrough. The apocalypse is happening outside. We're here at Hadz-at-Han. And let's continue on, because I want to get back into the zone, because I went and got lunch, had something to eat, and failed to keep myself logged in, so I've just had to log back in again. And I've just run through Favnir. The music out there is epic. I want to listen to more of it. Ardwin's burden is heavy indeed, yet he need not bear it alone. Forgive me, my friends, but I must return to the Mekathduf. I forget the pronunciation of that. For the time being, there I can better manage this crisis and dispatch my troops as the situation demands. In that case, we shall carry on an investigation of our own here in the city. Perhaps the residents can tell us more about the first of the transformations and the conditions under which they occurred. If we can ascertain what exactly triggers these tragic events, it may give us some insight as to the possible solution. Time is of the essence. Let us split up into 3 groups so that we may cover more ground. Alizé and I will see to Pakshik's Park. Thancred and Yustrola, pray make for Dahamir. I leave Arthas to Graha and you, Nathan. Any information you can gather on the first blasphemy or the manifestation of the final days here in the city would be most helpful. When we have completed our respective inquiries, let us reconvene in front of Mehakduha. That we might share what we learn with the satrap. Shall we be off then? Arthas is home of the High Crucible of Alchemia. Those alchemists forged many of our warden scales. That seems as good a place as any to begin our investigation, don't you think? I spoke briefly with Nahoudini, the chief alchemist there, on our last visit. He should be happy to answer our queries. Grahara's following us. We can't use the Aephorite, we have to run over there. I have already collected all the Aephorites in the city, with the exception of the main one, which remains unattunable. At least it did before this quest. I will try it again as I run past. I imagine I'm not going to have any more luck. Out of order. I also realise that I can speed up my travel in city a fraction longer because I can use that, and then I can swap to this, and use that, and use that, and use that. And then swap back to Ninja. I can't remember exactly how many characters have non-targeted movement skills. As in, they don't require a target character. Ah, I remember those red eyes. You were the Scions who commissioned the scales from us, yes? Welcome back to the High Crucible. What brings you here in these troubling times? We are assisting the satrap in investigating the crisis that plagues the city. Did you happen to catch sight of any of the creatures? I did. As I was going about my work, I was disturbed by crashing footsteps so powerful that they shook the very ground. The very ground shook. I rushed outside and could not believe what I beheld. The night sky was burning. Suddenly, I heard panicked screams coming from the direction of Bashina Bazaar. In the next instant, a monstrous beast poked its head out from amidst the stalls. A handful of radiants rushed to the scene, only to be sent sprawling as the fiends and its minions propelled them skywards. So the blasphemy came from the vicinity of the market. This knowledge may prove useful. I thank you for sharing. Well, I do believe we now know where we should inquire next. To the bazaar, then. So this is Thavnerian weave. I must say, it bears a resemblance to the traditional fabrics of Corvos. Small wonder, really, given that it's just across the waters. Not that I'm much of an expert on Corvosian culture. Of course, I have not had the occasion to visit my ancestral home since coming to Sharlayan, and like as not, I will never reside there again. That said, in recent days I've felt more acutely aware of my heritage, and grateful for it. It's thanks to my forebears that I inherit the royal eye, and with it, the wisdom of ancient Alec. And so, well, I should hope that my countrymen are safe, and one day, when this calamity is but a memory, I would like to go see Corvos again. If only once. Forgive me, but my shop is closed until further notice. Needless to say, we've more pressing concerns these days. We've not come in search of wares, but information concerning the enormous fiend that tore through the bazaar. Did you perchance witness anything? I'm afraid not, my friend. I was here the whole time. I only saw its little minions. Made a mess of the place, they did. While that was all going on, the great big one tore through the west side of the bazaar. You'd have better luck asking there. Is something the matter, traveller? If you are lost, perhaps I could be of assistance. Your offer is most appreciated. We are not lost, but we are in need of information. Might you know anything of the gargantuan beast that rampaged through the bazaar? Aye, I saw it all, though I wish I had not. I was going about my work when all of a sudden a piercing scream cut through the air. I turned around and there was the fiend, its massive body bursting through that entranceway with the force of a tidal wave. And then it was gone as quickly as it came. Sisters have mercy. What is it? What is happening with the world? What am I to do? Is nowhere safe? Settle down, friend. The danger has passed, at least for now. If it's not too painful to remember, could you tell us what you saw? First I heard screams, then a horde of ravenous beasts came charging towards us. One of them was huge, bigger than a myrid. Bigger than a marid. Myrid? Throwing people about like ragdolls, and it was eating them. I hid under the counter. I saw others do the same, but the shrieking and wailing kept getting louder, more voices in the throng. Beasts or victims, I couldn't tell. I knew not what was happening. I still don't. That's enough, good man. You were brave to share your tale with us. Many of your fellow merchants are safe. The High Crucible, too, has survived mostly unscathed. Pray, stay close to your friends and loved ones, and rest your body and mind while you're still able. I suspect this is the most we can expect out of people here to tell us. I think it's best we found a place outside the bazaar where we might rest and review our findings. This one needs the experience more. Onward. Sorry, that looked like Fordola for a second, just from this angle. Judging by their accounts, the transformations had already occurred by the time the beast reached the bazaar. It tore through the west side of the bazaar and headed towards the Aetherite Plaza. In other words, the blasphemers, or the blasphemy, may have first appeared in this vicinity. That being the case, the people in that Mehana can surely tell us more. Going after that enormous beast, are you? Aye, I saw it, including the very instant that poor bastard transformed. Damn the gods for putting me there. It started over there, by the window. A few men, merchants probably, talking and drinking. Conversation must have taken a turn for the worse. The next thing I know, their leader, I suppose he was, buried his head in his hand and a black mist was swirling about him. Then his whole body burst apart, and there stands a hideous slaving beast, massive and foul, all gaping maws and bulging eyes. His phones started shrieking, and then the black mist comes again until the change takes them too. Stuff of nightmares, I tell you. Nightmarish indeed. Incidentally, do you perchance know who those merchants were? No, I'm a decorator by trade. Not much cause to mingle with their sort. Saw Michiel, the barmaid, chatting with them, though she might know something. Another one. I was one step too far back. Even after repairing all that damage, it'll take a while for the business to pick up again. You mean the blasphemy? That's what the Radiant have been calling it, anyway. I saw it, too. We all did. I was standing here at the counter as Midreed poured me a drink, and suddenly there came this dreadful sound like a pained, angry groan. It was unlike anything I've heard. I turned around in shock, and from an enormous black cloud of mist rose the creature, enormous and ghastly to behold. As for what happened next, I recall it sending shivers up my spine. By some stroke of fortune, I was able to slip outside before the beast got its claws on me. But the sight that greeted me offered no solace. The blue sky above turned red as blood, and Mirida, myself, and the other survivors clung to each other for dear life until the Radiant host came to our aid. Wait, did I hear you correctly? The beast manifested before the sky began to burn. I'm certain of it. The window out there offered a clear view of the sky, and I saw nothing out of the ordinary until the beast appeared and began its rage. Oh, hello there. Welcome to Mihila's Mayhem. Mayhana. What can we get you? We have come not for libations, but rather information. Are you Michiel? Yes. We're investigating the so-called blasphemy on the satrap's behalf. We heard it was one of your customers, a merchant that first underwent the transformation. What can you tell us about him? He was something of a regular here, especially of late. That's the name from the first quest in this area, or second quest. Khalzahl was his name. He ran his own consortium, dealing primarily in the export of Thavnerian specialties. It's through him we met Matsia, yeah. Yes, the name rings a bell. Didn't you meet both on your first trip to Thavnir? If I recall correctly, Khalzahl ran a trading operation in Yellamad, and it was there that you made Matsia's acquaintance. I literally just said that. Yes, that is the same Khalzahl, no doubt. A rather successful man, from what I gather. That said, it was clear that he had fallen on hard times of late. Those ghastly towers popping up everywhere cannot have been good for business. Even now, with the tower gone, the collapse of the Empire has led all sorts of problems elsewhere. The market for luxuries is surely not what it once was. Trying times for the head of a trading consortium, indeed. Khalzahl was a compassionate man. Even as his own business suffered, he did what he could to provide for his artisans, fishermen, and many others who counted on him to sell their wares. Yes, that was the very topic of yesterday's meeting, as far as I could hear. Yet, as they discussed matters further, Khalzah's tone grew grave and grim, and it was then that... Forgive me, I would not have you recall the memory if it brings you pain. If I could, I would ask you one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual about Khalzahl in particular? Please, anything at all? Sorry, nothing springs to mind. Perhaps someone else can help you. Khalzahl lived for his work and had no family that I know of. His employees and associates knew him best, but they too are lost to us. Still, perhaps his neighbours would know something that I do not. I can direct you to them, if you believe it would help. What do you say? Doesn't hurt to try. I don't know if I said this last episode, but I'm getting this strong feeling that the manifestation or the transformation is being triggered by extreme despair, or, probably more prominently, the lack of hope, or giving up all hope. Because it seemed very telling that was the first option that we gave Xenos. Thanks to Mihail, it would appear we have a new lead. Let's leave no stone unturned. Mihail has information that should serve you well. Khalzahl made his home in Kama, a nearby residential area. From what I gathered, Khalzahl lived there since childhood and was known throughout the neighbourhood. Kama. The name is new to me. How do we get there? I'll write down some directions. I cannot promise that you will find what you seek there, but if nothing else, it's a start. Come, let's see where this lead takes us. Okay, so once again we have to run there. Where is there? Okay. This one I will skip. I'll be right back. Oh no, I won't. I would be right back if there wasn't this giant ominous blue circle saying, hey, you should talk to Grahat here. This is like twice the size of all previous circles. Ask for directions. Let's see, after leaving the Mihana, we are to retrace our steps to head back towards the FFXIV Plaza. Okay, so these are just directions. Why is that player carrying a large box? If he wasn't with me, I would just take the Aetherite. Because I already have the Aetherite. Incidentally, is it this one? Ah, no, yeah, it is. There's a lookout point there on that balcony that's behind the stairway, this crossway. I grabbed it earlier when I grabbed all the Aetherites. And this must be Karma. We've arrived at last. Let's begin questioning the residents without delay. No doubt someone here can tell us more about Khalzahl. Given recent events, I imagine many are taking shelters indoors. Hang on, indoors. Let's invade some homes. Could you come back another time? I just woke up and I'm not exactly in the mood for idle chit-chat. Well, that's one way to avoid the panic, I suppose. Pardon our intrusion. You may not have noticed, but a great danger has come to Favnia. I encourage that you stay alert and and prepare to flee the city should the situation turn dire. But before we leave your place, pray, and I was to ask you ask a question or two. Did you know a local man or local merchant named Khalzahl? If so, did you notice anything unusual about him recently? Khalzahl? Aye, I knew him. In fact, we just spoke the other day. Like many others, his business was doing poorly. Still, it seemed as though he had managed to turn things around, thanks to a generous offer from Ruby Dyer Fibers. Why, he was practically dancing in the streets. I haven't spoken to him since, but I assume all went well. Dijimbana might be able to tell you more, though. As I recall, he was the one who brokered the arrangement. Dijimbana at Reguna's Fiber. Let's make a point to visit him after we've spoken with the other locals. So I get the feeling that that offer was proposed, but it fell through. And when it fell through, he gave in to despair. Khalzahl, you say? Yes, I've known him since he was a boy. If there ever was a man who was born to be a merchant, it was him. Always early to depart and late to return, he spent his days procuring the finest wares and seeking out willing customers. You could say it came to him as easily as breathing. Sadly, business was flagging of late. No surprise, really. What with how dangerous travel has become. He was cooped up in his house from dawn till dusk the other day, no doubt racking his brain for a way to turn around his fortunes. Then, at night, I heard the door open. I looked out to see Khalzahl sitting on a bench, head hung low, a man with the weight of a world on his shoulders. I see, the situation must have been quite dire indeed. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary? Nothing to speak of, other than the troubles with his consortium. He was the same old Khalzahl, cordial and honest, like always. These questions you're asking, has something happened to him? He wasn't caught up in the terrible incident at the bazaar, was he? I don't travel much these days, but my daughter has told me not to venture outside. Stuck here as I am, I have heard little about these bizarre goings-ons. Rest assured, the city is now safe, but the situation may change without warning. I urge you, stay close to your daughter, and be prepared to take refuge should the satrap order it. You didn't answer her question. Sip of tea. And hurry, I say, there's no time to waste. Pardon me, but are you in charge of buying and selling here? Yes? We have a few questions we would like to... I'm sorry, but I simply don't have time to chat. If you haven't noticed, we have our hands full at the moment. We must carry all our wares and equipments to safety before those accursed beast returns. We'll lend a hand. In that case, might we be of assistance? Perhaps you would speak when the job is done. Very well. You can start by helping us move our equipment. Ask the others what to put where. And you can carry our fabrics. Go through the door and speak with Kalmala. She will tell you the rest. Remember, these textiles are our livelihood. Handle them with care. Let's go move some fabrics around. This area is for employees only. Out! Out! What's that? You've come to help? Oh, praise the Minduvana. Kind stranger, I welcome your assistance. On your way here, you pass these 3 storehouses, yes? I'd like you to carry that small crate to Nahabilehem. Yeah. By the storehouse near the hatchery. The crate of clothing is for Muhana. And the massive crate there goes to Zamir by the middle of the store, or by the middle storehouse. Watch your back with that one. Those are all the crates we have ready. Once you've delivered, consider your work complete. You will have a limited time to complete your task. Should you fail, you have to... Yeah. Light crate. Let me just double check this. I'd carry that small crate to Nihilvan. Threads, is it? Have you come to the right place? We thank you for your aid. And this one is for Muhana? Or Munaha? If you have any crates of finished products such as carpets, clothing, and then pay them and bring them to the storehouse. Crate of clothing, is it? I'll take it off your hands. Many thanks for the delivery. Massive crate to Zemira, which I think is just on the left-hand side. I say, you're quite the brawny one, aren't you? Good thing that. Never know when you need to defend yourselves in these unpredictable times. A crate full of fabrics, is it? Exactly what I was hoping to receive. Here, let me put that away for you. You've carried all of the crates to the storehouse, you say? And quickly, too. Why, I've never had anyone so strong. I and my associates will see to the rest, so please return to Dejin Baha and assure him our work is proceeding apace. To tell the truth, we're grateful for this distraction. Too many terrible happenings of late, but generous souls like yourself give me hope that we may emerge from this trial ever stronger. Pray we meet again in more peaceful times. Done as I've asked, have you? Or done as I have asked, have you? If Kamala is satisfied with your work, then so am I. You have done us a great favour, traveller. I too have delivered the instruments and apparatus entrusted to me. You both have my thanks. With our wares stored away, I will not lose any more to those fiends. I take it that your establishment did not escape the attack unscathed. We did not. Thankfully, most of our works have already left for the day, or workers had already left for the day. But those of us still here saw it all. We looked to the burning skies in confusion, and then, before we could even begin to make sense of it, a hideous creature burst through the doors, shrieking. We ran for our lives, but one of my colleagues was not so fortunate. He cried out and screamed of such agony, such terror. And then, the next instant, he too was sprouting fearsome claws. The sight of it caused another fellow to panic, and then he too transformed. I'm sorry, was there something you wanted to ask? Indeed, you knew a merchant Khalzahl, or Khazana. Did you not? I believe he had some dealings with your establishment. Khazana? I know him well. We had arranged for his consortium to deliver a large shipment of fabrics, but in the end, we received a better offer, and had to turn him down. I understand his business is struggling, and so is ours. Another Another of our more reliable trading partners agreed to transport the goods for a much smaller commission, and we would have been fools to refuse. I feel terrible for withdrawing the offer, but you must understand, we simply had no choice. He tried to put on a brave face when I delivered the news, but his dejection and despair was plain as day. He had said he had discussed it with his associates, but I could tell that he had all but given up hope. Dejection, despair, or dejection and despair. You remember what we saw in Vanaspat, yes? Soldiers and jungle dwellers pushed to the very brink, turning into beasts one after another. It would seem that the self-same phenomenon occurred here. The poor craftsmen attacked by fiends, as well as those that witnessed it all undergoing the change. I suspect that everything began with Khalzahl, and by all accounts, it was he who suffered from the most profound and piercing despair. Wait, could that be it? That such intense emotions were what triggered his transformation? Much remains unclear, but I believe we are drawing closer to an answer. At any rate, we must discuss our findings with the others. We have time enough for one more quest. It doesn't look like we're going to get outside to the epic music anytime soon. At least not today. Galahad here is eager to share all that you have learned with your companions. We were to reconvene in front of the Makaduts, were we not? That should be just outside. With any luck, they will have already returned from their own investigations. My friends, we must take our leave. I pray that your establishment is spared further tragedy. But remember, your lives are far more precious than any wares. If you are ordered to flee, do so without hesitation. Indeed, I thank you for your concern, and pray you to take care as well. Oh! Are they... They don't come as a pair, you get one of them from... Oh, that's what they're doing. So, if memory serves correctly, from Final Fantasy IV is where these characters come from. This one you get as part of the Collector's Edition. This one I don't know about. But there are multiple minions that have interactions with each other. And I think when these two are close together, they are turning themselves to stone, quote unquote, to hold back a wall. Because that's what they do, or hold back a closing door so that everyone can escape, because that's what they do in the in Final Fantasy IV. So they have an interaction with each other. Interesting, although I have no idea where you get the red one. Looks like we just got Thancred and Justola. Grahal's not here though. Finished your rounds and ready to share?
There you are. You've spoken with the survivors.
Indeed. We thought to share what we have gleaned, that we might together gain a greater understanding of present circumstances.
Fortuitous timing. Alize and I completed our own investigations not long ago.
Then we should take a moment to compare notes. Shall we begin with the two of you?
So the merchant Khalzahl was gravely concerned about his business in the days preceding his untimely end.
The tales we heard were much the same. The first victims to be changed into blasphemies were all overcome with anguish of one manner or another. Then those who saw their loved ones stolen before their eyes succumbed to a similar panic, setting in motion a chain of transformations.
Fear, unease, despair. These negative feelings serve as a catalyst.
If so, then it is not unlike the calamity that befell the ancients.
Maybe that's why we were given the flower, because the flower resonates with particularly strong emotions.
With their creation magics, they unwittingly gave form to untold horrors. Had they simply lost control, surely it would have manifested in many forms, not all of them monstrous. Yet somehow, this phenomenon is triggered solely by the darkness in their hearts, a common thread with what we now witness.
Common, but not identical. While the beasts the ancients faced were forged with magic alone, those of today are born of sentient beings. Why remains to be seen. But there is one fundamental difference between us and our predecessors. Our souls are sundered, whereas theirs were not. Perhaps that single variable makes all the difference.
If I may, there was another detail that troubled me. We have it on good authority that Khalzal's transformation took place before the skies began to burn.
What? If that's true, then the situation's more dire than we realized. It means even if there's no ominous sign presaging the final days, anyone, anywhere, has the potential to become a beast. Even in lands we thought safe, even as we speak.
Look! It's the satrap!
The satrap!
Thank the heavens!
My countrymen, I am relieved and heartened to see you strong and safe. While the danger has not yet passed, far from it, allow me to assure you that the beasts that raged within the city walls have been exterminated to the last. Outside this sanctuary, the brave men and women of the Radiant Host and our dragon ally continue to battle our unholy foes. I pray these tidings put your minds at ease and help you calm your hearts. Have faith that we shall soon conquer this terrible trial.
Your Excellency, is there any word from Palaka's stand? My grandson was bound for there yesterday, and I worry for his life.
We are still awaiting a report, but I promise you, as soon as I have aught to share...
Your Excellency, I bring grave news.
You are?
I'm Matsya of Akyali, a humble fisherman.
Ah, I remember you from our first visit.
Wait, you're... But no, that can wait. When the skies turned red, I set off for Palaka's stand, fearing for the safety of a friend. But as I drew near the village, I saw dreadful beasts all about.
No! Gods have mercy! Your Excellency! Save my grandson, I beg of you!
We will spare no effort to save all we can, but you must remain calm.
Calm? You tell me to be calm? You saw those beasts? They tore our bravest warriors limb from limb. What if we are too late, huh? They catch him, sink their fangs into him? The fangs! The screams!
Get away from her, now!
We've got to kill them before it spreads.
We'll handle this. See the townspeople to safety.
Run! As fast as you can! No! My son.
Enough! You must run. For their sake and your own. Yes, we will survive. We must.
They can be saved so long as they haven't transformed.
Be strong, my friends! Fear not, for we will defeat these abominations!
He's channeling the Crystal Exarch.
Brave men and women of the Radiant Host, lend your Stola and Thancred your aid. Let not a single beast escape. The rest of you, flee this place. Carry the wounded if you must. Head indoors or underground. Above all, stay calm. No beast will follow you. We will see to that.
Governor! Alizé! Leave the city to us, and make for Palaka's stand at once! Matsya, show my friends to the village! I promise you, they're more capable than the host's finest!
Right!
Go with them, will you? We will save these people. As many as we can.
Gonna let the music play for a little bit. We meet again. You do remember me, yes? You have saved my skin twice over in Yello, and now I find myself turning to you once more for help. But let us tarry here no longer. Damn it all, staying calm isn't exactly my forte. We must save Palaki's stand, whatever it takes. Matsya, it pains me to put you in harm's way, but we'd ask for your aid as well. Of course, Palaka's stand is not far from here, just down that hill. But as I told His Excellency before, the path was blocked by terrible creatures, and I had no choice but to turn back. In that case, this is what we shall do. Nathan, I ask that you take the lead and dispatch any beasts you encounter. Alizé and I will keep Matsya hidden amongst the trees, and then follow you when the path is clear. There's no telling what dangers await us. Let us keep our eyes peeled. Is combat music going to interrupt this? Since I'm here and they're a healer, speed things up a little bit for them. I'll worry about them later. But what happened to them? Good work, Nathan. Though I worry for Matsya. It cannot be. We must heal those we can, and quickly. I see no beasts, but stay on your guard. The villager has no pulse, nor do they appear to be breathing. The cooling body has already begun to stiffen. The massive wounds suggest the villager was gored by a terrible beast. Though the villager's injuries do not appear to be life-threatening, he does not respond to your efforts. His breathing grows more ragged and shallowed, and his vacant eyes are those of a man who has lost the will to live. If I wake, the nightmare goes on. No, leave me to my sleep. You call out, but the man does not respond. Go around the back. Have you come to help us? It's too late. It's too late. My family, my friends. Are these the only villagers who survived? I can only hope the others managed to flee, but the rest have been turned into beasts by the 12. Let's do what we can to see that the damage spreads no further. And no matter what comes, we must keep our spirits high, lest we ourselves suffer a similar fate. That was a hell of a bright flash. Anyway, we shall call it there, or call it an episode there. We don't really have the time to continue on for this particular episode, but we shall pick this up next time. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheerio.